Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 42. It's actually just barely after 12 o'clock noon, and I had a long meeting this morning and another long meeting this morning at the office. Just finished those, and I have two more meetings this afternoon, so I'm not really getting out to too many places today. I do have a short break right now that will enable me to get to a casino for a short time, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to play some slots this afternoon and try to make a few $100s, and I'm not sure if I will go back after work or not. I am planning on a very long day tomorrow, and I have a lot of new thoughts here, things I want to try out. And definitely, like I said in the last episode, I am going to be making some changes. We'll probably be traveling less days a week, and focusing more on making sure I'm keeping my job, so that I can have both things going at the same time. But by doing that, the days that I do travel are probably going to become longer. So instead of 12 hours, they may be 14 or 16 hours for a while. So if they get incredibly long and there's too much to talk about, I may be breaking them into two episodes instead of one. So that's what's going on right now. When I left home this morning to head to work, it was about 27 degrees, and about 5 hours later it is 50 degrees outside, so it's a nice day. Not a cloud in the sky that I can see, and clear roads, clean, dry, everything. So all a good situation. So that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you after my first stop. Alright guys, I am back. So I went to that place, and as soon as I walked in, first machine I looked at, I knew right away someone was in there, and I turned the corner and there he was. So I knew I wasn't going to find very much. I actually walked around the whole place a couple times, and I was able to find one play, and I played that through. It was a longer term play. It was at minimum bet amount. It was a very low, like 75 or 80 cent bet amount, and it took 600-700 spins before it hit, but it did hit. And I ended this session, I had $271. So plus 271 is a nice hit for that amount. So went to the food area, and I have food for the week, just a little bit. I got a burger, and I got some drinks to take with me for the rest of this week, so that helps a lot. And really, that's about it. I had my Teams open while I was sitting there. I was having a hard time getting an internet connection, so I actually had to connect to the casino, which I hate to do, and I will actually go to the phone and erase the network so it doesn't automatically connect in the future, even though usually I have my Wi-Fi off anyway, but don't want to take that chance, because if I decide to connect from there to do my office work, then it's going to look obvious where I am. And today, while we were in the audit, I actually was checking out my statistics, my areas that I logged in from, and since generally my sessions are short when I connect to the VPN network, meaning my gambling sessions are short, when I leave the house, it shows my IP address as where I live. So it looks like I'm local. Then I connect to the computer to my cell phone, and it shows that IP address as where I'm connecting the VPN from. Now, when I go to another state, if I'm still connected from the same connection and I haven't disconnected, it still shows that same IP address. So although I'm 3 or 4 hours from home, it shows that I'm still near home. So if they ever wanted to do that check. Now, the downside is, once I break that and I show, I disconnect the computer, I disconnect the Wi-Fi sharing from my computer, then the problem is once I reconnect it, it shows the new location that I am, and then it shows that I'm out of town. So I watch those things and I make sure that I don't do that. But going back months and months, it doesn't show that I was out of town at all, which is really good. So anyway, right now, waiting at this light that seems like it's taking forever to head back to work. I'm going to be back there around 7 minutes before my meeting starts. I'll go in and, do all the normal things I do, and get myself set up for the meeting. It'll look like I've been there the whole time because I've had my Teams on, and I think I should be good. And then I'll have a break, about an hour break, and then another meeting. And during that time, that hour break, I'll be catching up on stuff. Right now, I'm only about 2 weeks behind on stuff. I should be able to get within a few days by the end of the day today. And then tomorrow, I'll have off. And Thursday, I'll be completely caught up for work. So, I guess I've been taking risks this whole time at work, in that I know what things aren't going to be looked at very often. And although the page that we use, which is similar to SharePoint, does document when you make updates to it, it's easy to make small updates along with other updates, so it looks like that's what you did. Also, you can uncheck a box to make it so that other people on the page are not notified of the change. So, they'll see the change happened if they look for it, but they won't know when it happened because they weren't notified. So, all these little tricks, and it's paid off for me so far, but just have to be careful. Anyway, moving on, going back to the office right now, and then I'll be back to update you if anything else changes today. Alright guys, I am back. So I had my meeting with my manager and got all that taken care of, and actually it was interesting because we have to be in the office a minimum of 2 days. It should be really 3 days, but they only enforce 2. And I've been going to the office about 1 day a week, and most of the time not even the full day. So everybody's been doing that because I learned a lot of these things from other people. I don't see them in the office, they don't see me in the office. So the manager did mention that they're going to be cracking down on that. They want us at least in the office Monday and Tuesday. And if they don't see us in there, then they might pull card records to see who's scanning their card to get in the building. So that's interesting, because when I first started venturing out more, even though I had the job, that's one thing I said is they're going to check the records and see if you've been there or not. So I was going in the office early in the morning and scanning my card and then leaving for the day, and at least it shows that I've been there. So I may have to go back to that, but right now, Mondays and Tuesdays, I have a meeting with the director on Monday and with the manager on Tuesday. It's probably not good to rock the boat too much. Let's stick to casinos Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think, for a while until things calm down, or I'm a millionaire and I can quit. And so I'm heading back to this casino, and by the time I get to the casino, I'll get there about 5 minutes before my last meeting starts, and I can do this meeting over the phone in the parking lot because the people in the meeting are not in my group. I'm only there for a supervisory review kind of what they're doing. So I'm there in case they need any questions answered from a security person. So it'll be a short, probably 15-minute meeting. So I'll sit in the parking lot and do that. And my goal isn't to get rich. If I can get $200 or so from this stop, I think that would be excellent. I already made $200 and something this morning, and if I can make another 200 now, that's like what my paycheck would be for the day, after taxes. So definitely worth it if I can do it. So hopefully I don't run into the same guy as this morning, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to hop back in there, and I'll be back to update you shortly. All right, guys, I am back. So the goal was to come back to this place and make $200, $250 would be nice, And I walked in, I'm excited, I'm ready to go. Looked around, didn't really see anybody. Go around the corner, see the same guy I saw this morning. I'm like, gosh, don't you ever leave? So, looking around, finding very little. I took an okay play, not a great play. Lost a little bit of money on that, maybe $100 or so on that. So Wasn't very happy. Then there was another okay play at that machine, and I talked myself out of playing it. I said there'll be plenty of time to find good plays. You don't have to settle for okay plays. So I don't need points right now or anything, so it doesn't make any sense. So walked around some more, and really, I spent 45 minutes looking and couldn't find anything. And earlier when I'd been walking around, I had found a machine that was probably $500 in coin in away from being a positive play. So I left it alone. I came back, so 45 minutes later, and it was in position. It was like exactly the number that I would take, which would be like my borderline, okay, it's good enough play. So I was a little skeptical, but I thought, let's give it a shot. At this point, I was down like $140 or something like that. So I sit down, it's a $5 play. I put my voucher in. Boom, 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 boom. Lose $300. I'm like, okay, so far so good. But I knew the potential that this machine had, right? So continued on playing, and I got down to a voucher of $4.25 on this machine. It's a $5 machine. And when it hit not what I was chasing, but it hit something else, and it ended up paying me like $835. So I was happy, but now I know how this machine goes. So even though the other thing that I was chasing was in good position, once it does what it just did, it eats some money first. So it's going to drag it out to the last second. So imagine a must hit buy that has to hit by $1,000, and it normally hits around $985. Well, when it does this, it'll go to $999. So it makes you want to play it even less, because it's going to draw it out. So I decided I didn't want it. I asked a friend of mine, and he didn't want it either. And then there was another guy that I know that I think he's all right, not great, but it's good to give him some goodwill since I don't want to play anyway. So I mentioned it to him, and he said, no, I probably won't, but I'll take a look. So I walked by the machine, and it's got his card in there and a voucher for 45 cents. So I'm like, well, he's going to get some cash, so he'll probably be playing it. And then another guy that I know that doesn't live in this region, but lives in a region I go to sometimes. I won't be there this week, but he walked up to me and he's like, I don't know, I wouldn't take it since that just happened. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. And he goes, who the F is that? But he didn't say F. You want to take a guess what he said? No, I'm kidding. So I'm like, who, that guy? I'm like, man, that guy has been doing this since before you were allowed to even gamble. So he's like, oh, really? I said, yeah, probably almost as long as you've been alive, he's been doing this. So, you never know who knows what in a casino, but he had an idea that this guy knew something, because the way he was looking at machines, and he walked right up to machines that were beatable. So that's another thing I've talked to you guys about in the past, is you can't just go beeline from one machine to the other. Sometimes you have to move around, look at one machine, go around the corner, come back, look at the other one on the other side after you come back around, so it's not so obvious. Sometimes you have to sit down when there's 20 things to check on a machine and not make it look obvious that you're standing up. You look like you're playing the piano, so anyway, overall I ended up okay. I did the session, I had $339, so plus $339, so it makes it a decent day. And tomorrow is going to be a huge day, and tomorrow I'm going to have a goal of $4,000, and I think I can do it. I'm just going to have to leave early enough to spend enough time, but I want to shoot for 20 straight winning sessions. What do you think? Is it possible? I've done it before. Just got to play the good plays. Now, I'm not going to not play something because of that, but I think I can get 20 winners in a row. Now, I do have one secret up my sleeve that I can use to make money, and that is that a lot of these casinos, I have available free play of $200, $300, $400. So, you know, if I can't find anything, or I'm just finishing up a play and I need another certain amount of money and I don't want to be negative for the session, I guess I could cheat, but I don't know. Anyway, just talking right now. 55 degrees outside, and I am heading toward home. Normally I would be leaving work at this time, so it's a good time to head toward home, be with the family. I haven't seen them for a couple days, and we'll be up early tomorrow morning, so I'll be back in the morning and let you know what happens. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Tomorrow's going to be a long day, and we'll pick up there. It'll be a long episode anyway, so I think it makes sense. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.